How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. We are looking at, I believe this was a suggestion by somebody on the channel. This is Joel Beckman from Beckman's Dog Training. If you like him and you want to follow him, then go check him out. Go support him. I don't recommend him. I don't like anything he does. I don't agree with his methods and all that nonsense. But I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to tell you who to follow, who not to follow. I'm never going to tell you follow me over them. I appreciate everyone for their support. Thank you so much to the first and newest member of the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support on Patreon from everyone. Even those who cannot support on Patreon or memberships, I still appreciate each and every one of you, just from the wonderful comments I get from you, from, the likes and just the great support. Everyone is always welcome in the Critter family, regardless of what you can afford. Never feel like it is necessary send or spend any kind of money on me. But I do thank you, and I appreciate everyone for the super thanks and the memberships and the Patreon support. It really does mean the world to me, and it helps so much. It really does. So back to Mr. Joel here. If you want to see his video first, please go check it out, because I'm going to be pausing a lot. I'm going to try and pause less and get through more of the video in between pauses. But his video title is Battle Dogs Require Major Attitude Adjustments Early. Fix your big young dog before it's too late. So, he's already fear-mongering. I pick up on very specific words that people use, especially when it comes to training. So he says battle dogs. This is a Cane Corso. It's a young Cane Corso. So he's calling them battle dogs. And he says that they require, this is not a fact, this is his opinion, but he states it as if it's fact. Battle dogs require major attitude adjustments early. I can agree with that. I've been with a lot of dogs that are a bully breeds or bully status of some sort, and they tend to act a certain way, just like Spitz breeds or more independent breeds. But I don't fix any of those. I don't work with those issues like this at all. And he says, fix your big young dog. So acts like it's the dog's fault, and we have to fix it. There's a problem. And he says before it's too late. It's never too late. You can train any dog at any time. It is easier for most people to... Sorry if you hear crinkling in the background, that's Hermes. For most people, it's easier to... it's... An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. But that doesn't mean that you can't go back and fix it. Dogs are very easy. Even big, powerful ones that are very reactive, it's still fairly easy to work with them. It just takes time and understanding and a lot of patience. So as I did in my most recent video that I just posted about Caesar Milan, which this guy apparently worships or follows and whatnot, as you can tell, he's side submitting the dog, very dangerous. In one, a picture is worth 1,000 words, is what I said in that video. And this picture is also worth 1,000 words. Prong collar, young dog. Its tail, if it had more of a tail, its tail's been docked. It would be tucked, or it looks like it's tucked. I don't know, I can't tell. He has them on their side. It could be hot out. The dog's been running around. They're a black dog. These dogs don't necessarily take heat too well. Long lips, pulled back. Very, very long lips is another sign of stress and panting. And then someone asks him, is this the worst you've seen? I don't care if this is the easiest dog he's seen or the worst dog he's seen. You do not fight fire with fire. In my opinion, in my professional and my experienced opinion and common sense, I do not recommend that anyone ever do this to any other living creature. I mean, unless something's attacking you, to teach them something, you're not teaching them anything. I don't ever recommend that you do this. I did this with Adonis when he was a puppy because I didn't know any better, but that's no excuse. I didn't know better. I had, I watched Caesar. I watched these things. I had trainers teach me how to do it. And you know what? It made him so much worse. But he's a Shiba, and he fights back, and I love him for it. I loved him for it. All 12 years that I had him. Really, Hermes? I love these little guys. He's digging in his little tunnel. But these dogs, Cane Corsos, from my own experience, I see that they can be very soft dogs. That, like a Rottweiler, they seem very powerful. They are powerful. They can take a lot of pressure, but I feel like they're very sensitive dogs that shut down more with this kind of treatment versus a Shiba that would fight to the death. So, enough of my rambling. We're going to get on with the video. Thank you again to everyone who supports the channel. I hope you don't mind some Hermes noise in the background. If you like it, it's ASMR for you. So let's get on with this.
No. He's too young to be the worst we've seen.
He sounds like he's out of breath. The dog is panting very hard. Whale eyes. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Big whale eyes. Lip lick. This dog is not comfortable. It's not going to trust him. He's taking advantage of a young, powerful animal. Forcing it down.
None of this.
And because he gets up and he's like playful and happy, then people are going to say, oh, it's okay. Yeah, he didn't take it personally. This could very, very easily cause this dog to become more aggressive. As I've experienced with my own Shiba way back when, before he was even 2 years old.
But it doesn't reduce it that much because he likes it. Why would he stop doing, let me get in a fight with that guy?
I don't think the dog likes it. I don't think... I don't know. I'm not in this dog's head. But I don't think he likes the fight. I mean, he probably sees it as a game if Joel is chasing him around. But that can easily turn to...
It's the fight.
Aggression.
The fight, not to fight. And he does. You see his tail? Okay, let's go.
So, I mean, it could just be that he gets attention. If this dog never gets attention like that, never wrestles, never gets, to get that energy out, and the one time he does is with Joel, he may enjoy it, but it doesn't mean it's good. I mean, dogs, Adonis, for instance, loved puffy Cheetos. He loved anything, any kind of human food. He loves Cheetos. That doesn't mean I'm going to give him his own bag of puffy Cheetos. I mean, I love them too, but it doesn't mean he loves it. He loved to run free. It doesn't mean I'm going to let him off leash when I know I haven't taught him to be reliable off leash. And notice, and keep in mind, I said that I haven't taught him, not that he isn't good off leash. I take accountability. That I haven't taught him, but I didn't teach him.
11-month-old Cane Corso. This dog's ancestors come from Roman war dogs.
So?
The problem is, this dog's owners are not trying to take over Germania.
I know, I'm going to try and let it play more, but the dog doesn't care whose ancestors were or what he was bred for. I mean, Cane Corsos today are not going to be bred with the same instincts or raised or taught to have the same instincts as they did way back in the days of when they had war, okay? It's just not. I mean, my Shiba they're originally made to go hunting, and yes, he was fearless. He didn't care. He didn't care about size, but he's not going to... He doesn't care. He's a little couch potato. He doesn't care about fighting a wild bear for me or go hunting boar and birds. So that's just an excuse that because he was a war dog, we have to treat him as such. That's just nonsense.
Just trying to live a peaceful life. But we are going to give this dog a little bit of a war today, Prince and I both. We are not going to put up with the nonsense. And you would expect So
he's 11 months old, and it looks like he's already been neutered. Maybe he's an anomaly and he hasn't dropped his testes yet. But it looks like he's been neutered. So that's just something that I point out, that usually for large dogs, if you can wait at least a year for them before they are neutered, it's more beneficial for the dog because they need those hormones. You're desexing the dog. You need hormones to really help them build a healthy body. That's just, a random tidbit. Okay, I'm not harshing or harping on anybody for doing that. I just happen to notice that.
For dog to not give up a fight, correct? You would expect a war dog to enjoy the fight a little bit.
No, I don't. I don't expect anything. He has these definitions. He has a one-track mind. He sees just because it's a war dog, just because it's a Shiba Inu, just because it's a Chow Chow, just because it's a Chihuahua, that they're all going to expect whatever human definition you want to put to it. I don't care. I mean, there are certain breed characteristics that we always have to keep in mind. Of course, could this dog be more guardy? Sure. Could he be more fearful or more aloof to strangers? Sure. If you have a herding dog, they're going to want to chase things, very likely. Are they going to get along with other dogs? Maybe not so much. Those are things that you can keep in mind. But he is trying to define this dog to excuse his lack of skills, in that he has one tool in his toolbox and it's a hammer. And so he views every problem as a nail. He handles every problem the same way.
8-4. And that's what's going to happen today. This guy enjoys the fight, quote-unquote fight, a little too much. That doesn't mean we don't need
I
to
don't
have
think so.
the fight.
I mean, could it mean that he
Right
likes to
here
push
when he
other
starts
dogs?
to jump on me. I am not...
Oh, look at that little baby. So let's look at him go back. As he approaches,
right here when he starts to
he comes
jump
up,
on me.
his tail wags, his head goes down, his
I
ears go back. Look at that little wiggly butt. Very curved back.
not
He's coming up
obligated.
very, I would say submissive. He's coming up very respectfully. He's excited. Does that mean that he's not going to jump? You know, he might jump, but I don't see that as any sign of aggression whatsoever.
to let a dog launch itself at me.
He didn't launch. He's trying to lick you. And I will say, I don't like dogs jumping on me. But, you know, you can turn your back. The way he came up, he's just looking for attention. That was a very good boy, being a good boy, coming up to say hello. He hasn't been taught not to jump. He's also very tall, so no matter how tall, you know, you are, he's going to jump up and lick you in the face just standing on his back feet. Which shows just how large this dog is at only 11 months. I'm sure he's going to keep growing for another couple of years and filling out. If I don't want a dog to jump up and lick at my face, I'll turn my back. Or I will read them, and I will try to reinforce them for staying down on the ground before they feel the need to jump up. I mean, he wants to go say hello to the face because that's what dogs do.
Look at the freeze frame, and this is going to get a little worse with every jump.
Because you didn't do anything the first time. If, you know, now, yes, I've worked with plenty of dogs that are like this. What I would do is I would walk away. And I would start rewarding him, take a ball, toss a ball for him, so that way he can run and get that energy out. And when he comes up to me, I can toss another ball so he doesn't feel the need to jump up. If he wants to say hello to me, I'll go on the other side of a fence. And he can, if he wants to jump, then I walk away. Or I can put him on a harness with a leash and tether him to a tree. You know, and the leash has a bungee, so if he tries to jump, I can walk away and he can't continue to follow me. There's a million ways you can do it. I don't recommend doing what Joel is going to do. I'm sure he's going to knee him in the chest.
With that lick, I'll talk about that in a minute, and then the worst jump right here.
Okay, so I think this dog is actually doing this because you see how Joel jerks? He's causing this to happen. So this dog doesn't necessarily enjoy the fight. Like, this isn't really a fight. The dog just sees it as you're making a game out of it. When people push a dog down, you know, you create a game. So if a dog is jumping on me, I actually put my hand on their chest and I gently push them away from me, you know, while they're walking on their back feet, and then I support their chest as I put their upper feet down, their front feet down on the ground. So it's 4 on the ground, 4 on the floor, and I will reward them for that. And I'll be careful about holding eye contact with them, because if I'm holding eye contact when they're on 4 on the floor, of course they're going to want to jump.
Right into me, right there. And now the fight begins. Why do I say it's a fight? Because it's a bit of a fight. He's used to getting away, and I go...
No, now the dog is fighting for its life. Because remember, he's correcting him and holding him like this on a prong collar. He caused all of this. None of this was necessary. He caused all of this.
That's not how this goes anymore. Okay,
Dog is fighting because it hurts.
A tail cannot possibly go faster than that.
Because a lot of dogs will do that because even if they're being submissive. A tail wag doesn't necessarily mean he's happy. It means he's stimulated. It could be that he's stressed. You're hurting him, you're attacking him, you caused it was your fault, and now he has to pay.
This dog's down. He's ready for it. That doesn't mean...
No, he's not. He's trying to fight and get away from you. He's not ready for anything.
Have it. This doesn't mean he enjoys it. It just means he's stimulated. We have to do this. I'm not...
No, you don't have to do this. You might, because you don't know anything. You don't know how to train a whale, and you don't know how to train a dog. If you don't know, he always likes to proudly brag that he worked at SeaWorld, the jail for all sorts of sea animals and sea life, and they just lie about the care that the animals are given there.
Or obligated to go, oh, you launch yourself at me? I'm going to train a sit. I'm going to condition a sit before the jump, and I'm going to give you treats for it. I'm not obliged to do that when a dog launches.
No, the dog didn't launch at you, dummy. Stop lying. You say you're not obliged. Well, this dog is not obliged to listen to anything you say. The dog could kill you if it wanted to, but it's not. The dog is not obliged to do diddly squat for you. As a stranger, he doesn't know who is now hurting him. Dogs are not obliged to do anything. You as a human are obliged to treat them, hopefully, humanely. I mean, like, legally humanely, but there's, nobody cares about animal abuse. They don't see it as abuse. They, unless the dog is bleeding and losing a limb, even then, some people question it, but you can do anything you want to in the name of training. You can legally abuse animals like Cesar Millan did in the previous video I did.
Itself at me, and I'm not doing anything, by the way.
No, you are absolutely lying, and you're being a dummy, and you're being a silly goose. You are causing pain and entrapment of this dog and causing stimulation, excitement, fear, whatever you want to call it. I think fear and pain. And this dog is learning to fight you because he's trying to get away. So you're trying to teach this dog to develop learned helplessness like you do with every other dog you train.
He's rearing up. He's laying down. I'm simply holding the dog.
No, you're not. You're tightly grabbing onto a prong collar. His tail's now tucking. He's fighting. He's learned helplessness because he says, no matter what I do, he's not calmly laying down. He's probably choking. He's suffocating. He's freaking out. You're not just holding him. Stop lying. I mean, let's mute it. And I'm just going to judge and tell you what I see from body language, because the dog doesn't care what he says. People care what he says. I don't care what he says. I'm just going to watch him and how he interacts with the dog. He's holding, he's very stiff, dog falls over, he's staring at the dog, he's leaning over the dog. This is a good way to get yourself bitten in the face. And of course we would always blame the dog for it. Dog is freaking out, feeling trapped, trying to be submissive, trying to appease him so he lets go. All of this is pressure, by the way. Physical and social pressure. And then he lets go, and guess what? The dog runs away from him. And sees the camera person, shakes off stress, gets excited, runs and tries to avoid him. Oh, look at that little face! Look at that little face! That's a good baby! I would love to play with this little guy. He's stinking cute. Gorgeous eyes. And so what? Now Joel's gonna chase him again? So so there's a big cut there. What did he do in that cut? How long did it take you to force this dog down on their side again? Comes over to the camera person, because I'm sure the camera person is low. Goes over. Runs away. Runs from Joel. Goes back to the camera person. Jumps on Joel, because it didn't learn the first time, because this dummy what he teaches doesn't translate. And unless this owner can forcibly hold their dog down on their prong collar, that's why it only works, because he has a prong collar that causes extra pain than a flat collar or, a harness. The owner has to do the exact same thing for it to transfer at home. And even then, this does not give you lasting results. If you felt slightly obliged, Joel, to use positive reinforcement, that would get you a lot longer results than this, and it would be a lot safer, and other people would not be at risk of this dog becoming aggressive or biting people. So he grabs the dog, and then there's an immediate cut, and the dog is on the ground. Did you have to chase the dog? Did you fight the dog? You were over here, and now the dog is over here. So what happened in that cut? Ouch. Dog is on a prong collar. Still trying to be, still very much a puppy. Overstimulated. He's locking this prong collar into this dog's neck, jerking and popping on it. And this is, I want to point this out, not for any sexual reason, but when you see a dog who can, same thing happened with Shadow. This can happen when a male dog is overstimulated, or it can happen when they are suffocating. And Shadow was a wolf that, or wolf dog, sorry, that couldn't have been a wolf. It was a wolf dog that Caesar was hanging on a prong collar, and it actually almost passed out. And it had showed a very similar sight, which happens when you are suffocating, or at least it happens with dogs. So again, not putting anything out for sexual anything. This is just, you look at the whole picture. Could this dog be excited? Sure. But we don't know that he's not having a lot of trouble breathing. Okay, so now another break. We don't know how long it took. And now he has him on his side. Fingers digging into his neck. Hand over here. I don't know why he thinks this is necessary. It's absolutely not. This is not going to teach the dog not to jump on you. And if his hand is here, he's pressing the prong collar into this dog's neck on the ground and with his other hand there. Lip lick, whale eyes. This is not going to teach a dog not to jump. Because you have 1 second to correct, 1 second to reward. If that dog jumps and you punch him in the face or you knee him, and you have to do it hard enough to stop him from doing it, I'm not saying doing it. I'm not saying to do it. If that happens, then the dog will say, okay. Or, if he goes and he thinks about jumping, or he jumps and you walk away and he doesn't get any attention, or if he comes up to you and just before he jumps, you toss a ball away from you, and he goes for the ball, that would reward him for moving away from you. I mean, either way, it's a reward or correction. You have 1 second to do. If you chase the dog down, you keep on with this, you're just harassing the dog. So he's pressing into him, digging into his neck. Dog is trying to get away. Dog is probably going to be hyperventilating. Pressing down on the hips. Not good. Can be very painful, especially with these type of dogs. He's trying to get away. I've done this exact thing with Adonis when he was a baby, and guess what? It didn't work. It made him more aggressive, made him less trusting of me. Did I get his trust back over the years? Absolutely, because I listened to him, and I stopped listening to idiots like this.
I'm not angry in any way. You're going to see me talk to this.
I believe you're angry because of the way you act with him. The way you hold him down. There's some emotion there. You can't do that without emotion. So he comes back, he pets. Now this could be a moment where you're setting the dog up for failure, where you're leaning over and you're going to cause the dog to want to jump because your face is down there. The dog's, again, the whole point, the dog is jumping is because he wants to get to the business end. He wants to sniff and say hello to your face. We can teach him not to do that. He's going to pause here.
Now we're going to go to original audio. And then we're going to get back to it.
So the dog learns over time to give in because it's easier and quicker to just give up. Learned helplessness. You're not going to get away. It's just going to cause more pain.
On is this fight. This can't
Dog can't breathe. He's whining. How long was that? There was another cut there. How long was he holding this dog down? And they say that, like, corrections are the quicker way.
It's very high. We need to get the launch at people to have a less high reinforcement.
Jeez Louise, dude. And they say this is the quicker way. Okay. His finger is literally pulling back on this dog's face right now. This is not teaching the dog not to jump. It'll teach not to mess with you. This smart little dog is kicking at him, saying like, dude, get off of me, get away. He's fighting. And he's shoving him away. And because... look at that little guy, look at his little foot. I mean, it's not really funny. Like, this dog is fighting. Can't breathe very well, not very comfortable. But he's kicking, go little doggy. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but... I mean, this is just crazy. Kicking, fighting, kicking more, pressing on his abdomen, fighting for his life. Can't breathe. You're getting him more excited. Now he's just choking him and holding him up. And then another cut. And he's fighting this dog. And all this is to teach the dog not to jump. Now he's reacting. Okay, so we have a camera person moving around. So the camera person doesn't help because they're distracting the dog. He's literally just choking it now, holding it down. Forcing it. Look how hard this dog is breathing.
We have to have this fight so that he likes it a little bit less.
No, you don't have to have this fight. You're a dummy. You're a dangerous person spreading lies and dangerous misinformation.
Cannot launch yourself at people.
You can absolutely teach that. I teach it without ever touching the dog. And I'm not anything special.
Will do something. You cannot go in the street and punch people. You might
That's not the same thing at all. That is a really stupid metaphor. Dogs aren't going around punching people. Even human beings, regular human beings, would have to be taught to go down the street and randomly punch people. That makes absolutely no sense, and that's a human concept, a stupid human concept, in a human world. He's a dog. It's not the same. God, you're just...
Pushed back. It is
nothing. It is not natural at all. You know, in a wolf pack, everybody talks about the wolves and how, all these other dogs want to alpha roll and this. No wolf physically has to fight another animal down to hold him down the way he is. An alpha roll doesn't exist in the wild. The other animal will choose to submit and lay down to prevent a fight from happening. In a pack of wolves, the alphas are the mating pair. They don't care who their other cousins are, other wolves and whatnot. One dog is not going to be alpha of a bunch of other dogs. But dogs will, because they don't have the same needs that wolves do. They don't have to preserve their energy, or they don't have to go for days without food, or run for maybe not hundreds, but like dozens and dozens of miles to chase down a caribou and then kill it and then tear it apart and eat it and go and save babies and, feed their babies and whatnot and all this and that. Dogs just sit around with loads of energy waiting to expand that energy. So they will develop more bully-ish behaviors like he does, like he shows. So say he were holding this dog down, another dog might see that and go stand over them and take advantage of that moment. Another wolf or wild animal, they wouldn't care. They're not going to risk themselves getting put in a position where they can get hurt because they can't survive that way. I'm trying to listen to it not... I'm trying to listen to it muted because I would be here all day if I were trying to counter everything he says. So I'm just watching this. Yes, if he were chasing and Prince were to turn around, give him an air snap, or tell him, hey, knock it off, that would be okay. Prince is trying to run away. I mean, this guy's just having fun. Prince can outrun him, tire him out. They're dogs, and they will talk how dogs talk. See, Prince just gave him a look and he backed away a second ago. Gives him another look and he backs away. So here... this guy is leaning back, his tail is up, but he seems more in a play stance, like he wants to run. Prince is all business because his dummy owner taught him to be a bully. So Prince takes every chance to be as dominant as he can, an overall ruler, which doesn't exist in the wild. He takes every chance he can to push other dogs around and be the bully. And so this dog is accepting it very well. So he goes around, tells Prince, hey, let's go play. He's a young guy. He wants to play. He's jumping up. So after that cut, I don't know what happened. Now we have a corner, a trap point where these guys could easily get into a fight. So now they have more room. There's another cut. He's smelling Prince. Prince is going to pee. He's probably going to... he didn't mark over it. So if he drooled all over him. So if Droll had at any point tried to say that this dog was dominant, he's not. He's not trying to pee over Prince. And even if they pee over each other's pee, they call it pee mail for a reason. They're trying to show everybody not just their strength in this nonsense. I mean, can it happen? Sure. Like Prince does that all the time. He pees on everything. People too. But the dogs will urinate on other urination to show the other group, the whole group, like, hey, this is me. This is my little signature. You know, get to know me through my glands and my smell. So again, he goes up to him, little curved back, waggy tail, still very submissive, very respectful. Bugging Prince again. Prince is yawning a little bit, saying, dude, too much. But he's standing his ground. So then he says, that's not enough. Let me jump on you. Let me try to get you to play. Now, Adonis would certainly not appreciate that. But, that it doesn't mean he's a bad dog. But I would expect a dog to correct him.
Boom. There's like an echo when he does that. And Prince goes, okay. Prince didn't take it personally.
He wants to play.
But he did say,
shake off. Maybe he's telling the other dog, calm your energy. Like, good boy. So he does the little play bow. He says, okay, you want to play? Let's play. So now Prince is going to do to him what he did to him. And this dog chose to roll themselves and stay down on the ground. And Prince is on top of him. Still more of a playful stance, I would say. Prince did not have to... See, he's choosing stay... I mean, he's still chewing on his head. If this dog wanted to get up, he could. Prince did not hold him down and fight him for who knows how long. 15, 20 minutes to hold him down. He chose to go down and lay down, and he can get up anytime he wants to. Prince is not being aggressive. Prince is trying to play with him. Okay, that was a little bit, he kind of went, Prince is kind of up in the ante. Prince says, okay, now I can be a wild man. And now he's given him a little taste of his own medicine where, he says, okay, that's a bit much. Now he's trying to run away, and now Prince is taking advantage of it. This is where I would call Prince away, because this is not necessary. Chewing on his feet, he's kicking, but I still think if this guy wanted to, if he wanted to start a fight, he could. I think if this little guy really wanted to tell Prince off, he could. But he's young, and he's inexperienced, and so he says, okay, I'm just going to stay down. Prince is doing too much. Here it looks like he's telling him off. He says, enough. But he got up. So he could have gotten up, I feel like, at any point there. Prince is getting to be a bit too much, but he says, okay, I saw my spot, my chance, and I got up. Now Prince is, again, chasing. He chose to lay down. And he looks like he's kind of barking at him. But again, just young guys wrestling. He's barking, kind of telling him off, and he's kind of mirroring that behavior. And he's telling him that's a bit too much. But Prince still lets him up. Prince is chasing him. So this is too much. I would have stopped it right away because we don't want this dog to learn to fear other dogs. I don't think this is at all fair for this dog to learn that kind of lesson from Prince. I mean, Prince taught him, he gave him a little taste, and he should have moved away. That's what tells me Prince, in my opinion, through all the other videos I've seen, is not a balanced dog. Adonis, if a dog is irritating him, he'll tell them off with an air snap, and then, okay, let's go play. And vice versa. If they tell him off with an air snap, he doesn't take it personal, or he didn't. So I always talk about him like he's here. He's, past tense. He's no longer with us. But Adonis was a great teacher who taught me and helped me to teach other dogs. Prince is a bully. Way too much. So the dog says, okay, I'm going to go over here by mom. Calms down. And then, you know what? We move on. Shake off the stress. Perfect. He still wants to play. Prince says, I think I'm going to go sniff. But see, the humans involved, oh look, when the humans get involved, so now he has him on a head halter because it's a cheater and he doesn't know how to train anything without the head halter. So now he's doing this on his own because he associates this guy, and maybe the head halter is doing it too, the extra pressure. He says, I do this, and then this pressure goes away. Pressure off of my face. Pressure away from you. I'm afraid of you. So now he wants to just drag him up by the head halter. So this dog might be laying down because he doesn't want to move with the head halter. He's smart. And he's doing everything he can to set this dog up for failure. By leaning over him like this. Dog is trying to paw the head halter off. And he's getting irritated like Dog Daddy when Dog Daddy puts a leash on a dog and a dog is smarter than the person and they learn to put their paw over the leash to remove the pressure of the leash. They get irritated and they start snapping it. Dog is trying to paw it off. He doesn't even condition the head halter properly. He doesn't condition it at all. He just puts it on and starts literally yanking and cranking on dogs. So the dog still feels that this is a constant correction. This is no different than the side submission where he had his whole body on this dog. Or his whole upper body on the dog. The dog feels that this is still the same thing. Or it shows that this is equivalent enough to them of the side submission. So they're just going to lay there and wait for this pressure on their face to go away. So. Oh, great. So he takes it off. Okay, we got a regular collar on. Thank you for having a regular collar on. He's still excited. Now that happened. Wow, look at that. Whale eyes, dog is terrified. He was jumping. You could have just stood up. But no, he has this ego. He has this he likes to scare and or harm and manipulate other lesser beings that he feels are lesser that will not fight back. He is a bully. Forces him down to the ground. This is a bully. And people pay him thousands of dollars. And this dog will learn nothing from this. This is an absolute waste of time, in my opinion. Time and money. That this dog will not... Nothing of what this dog has learned here will translate to when these people go back home. Because I would bet $1,000 that these owners are not going to do the same thing to their dog. Whether they are not physically able to or they choose not to. An absolute waste of time and money. But if you want to support him, go support him. So I'm going to end the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you saw in this video, what you thought of it. If I missed any kind of body language or what you saw out of the little play session with between this little guy and Prince. In the meantime, go say hi to your little critters. Say how do you do for me. Give them some kind of loving, which is the opposite of this. Give them some kind of loving they appreciate. And until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.